This video will discuss present tenses in English. There are two present tenses in English: the simple present and the present progressive, also known as the present continuous. So the present progressive and present continuous are two names for the same tense. The simple present is used to describe the usual state of things. So for instance, usually you go to class at 9 a.m. Or it's also used to describe repeated actions. So for instance, every day you go to class. The simple present is also used to describe facts. For instance, the country France is in Europe. We usually use the simple present with these words: always, often, sometimes, never, once in a while, usually, every day, every week, every month, on the weekends, or on Mondays, on Tuesdays, and so on. So if you see those words, then you can remember you should usually use the simple present tense. For instance, usually I drink coffee at breakfast. On Mondays, I watch my son in the morning. We never wash the car. We don't eat sugar. The simple present is formed very easily. Basically, you always just use the infinitive form of the verb. So I walk, you walk, we walk, you walk, they walk, except when you are in the third person singular, and then you would say he walks with an S at the end, or she walks, or it walks. Now for the present progressive. The present progressive is used to describe what is happening right now. She is washing her hair right now, right this minute, at this very moment, she is washing her hair. The present progressive is also used to describe a longer action which is in progress, even though we aren't doing that action right now. So for instance, are you writing a book? The action of writing a book takes a while. It takes place from a little bit in the past all the way to sometime in the future, and one is generally working on it, but one isn't working necessarily on it every single minute. Another example would be I am studying to become a teacher. Again, that's an action that is a little bit longer, which is currently in progress. We usually use the present progressive with these words: now, right now, this minute, just now, or at present. There are other words as well, but these are some of the main ones. So, for instance, right now, I am leaving for Boston. We are singing this minute. Just now, she is running a marathon. Now, the dogs are running. The present progressive is formed in the following way: I am walking, you are walking, he, she, it is walking, we are walking, you are walking, and they are walking. Note that the verb that changes, the verb that is conjugated, is the helping verb. So the verb to be ends up changing and being conjugated here. I am walking, you are walking, he, she, it is walking. Yeah. Now let's do some practicing. Make a sentence with the words below using the simple present. So this would be: every night the dog likes to sleep on the bed. Let's try another one. This should be: they eat out once in a while. Or you could also say, once in a while, they eat out. So this could be, I never call my mother in the morning. Here's another. We always drink wine. Let's try this one. So this could be often, my daughter walks to school. You could also say, my daughter walks to school often. Both of those would be correct. Now let's practice making sentences using the present progressive. This should be, right now, the dog is sleeping on the bed. You could also say, the dog is sleeping on the bed right now. Here's another. And this is, this minute, they are eating out in a restaurant. Or you could also say, they are eating out in a restaurant this minute. Let's try this one. Just now, the baby is crying. You could also say, the baby is crying just now. Here's another. The kids are walking to school now. You could also say, now the kids are walking to school. And this would be, right now, my son is reading his book. Or you could also say, my son is reading his book right now. Now we can practice by choosing if the word or phrase signals the simple present or the present progressive. So for each word or phrase, think to yourself if it should be followed by the simple present or the present progressive. For example, right now. Should take the present progressive. For instance, I am thinking. Or, in this case, I am seeing. Every Monday. Should take the simple present. I see, for instance. Often. Should take the simple present. I see, or you see, or so on. Just now. Usually takes the present progressive. So I am seeing, you are seeing, and so on. Right now. Is again the present progressive. So I'm seeing, you are seeing, and so on. Sometimes takes the simple present. So for instance, I see. Never. Takes the simple present. I see, you see, and so on. Now we can make a sentence with the correct present tense. These sentences could use either the simple present or the present progressive or both. For example, right now she on the phone. And you have to say which version of the verb talk you should use. Should it be right now she talks on the phone? Or should it be right now she is talking on the phone? And the answer would be is talking. So now you can try one. And that should be goes. Weekends, he goes to New York. Here's another. And that should be sometimes they watch TV. And here, just now signals that we should use the present progressive. Just now the radio is playing music. Here's another. And this should be, he likes to swim once in a while. Once in a while usually takes the simple present. And this should take the present progressive. This minute, the doorbell is ringing. Finally, let's do this one. For this practice, you're going to fill in the sentences using both a verb in the present progressive and another verb in the simple present. So each sentence will take a verb in the present progressive and a verb in the simple present. For example, usually I at 8 a.m., but today I at 7. And so you would need to figure out which of those blanks should be filled in with eat using the simple present, and which should be filled in with am eating, which is, of course, the present progressive. And the answer is, usually I eat at 8 a.m., but today I am eating at 7. Because the word usually signals that we should use eat, the simple present. But today, meaning right now, today, I am eating at 7. And this should be, often I take the bus to work, but right now I am walking. And this should be, my wife has a fever right now, so I am taking care of her. This is just now. The kids are playing soccer, but usually they play baseball. Most days, she does not bake cookies for us, but today she is baking cookies. And our last one. And this should be, we are speaking French right now, but usually we speak English. Excuse me, we speak Spanish.